You gotta understand what you're dealing with if you're chosen one, if you're a black sheep with a family, if you're just feel like everybody gaslights you and all this. Like everybody feels like someone's watching you. People call you schizophrenic. People call you, say you're in a psychosis because of the drugs you use to escape the reality and no one gives a fuck about you. No matter, you love everybody else, but no one gives a fuck about you. And you feel that shit. And before you feel it, you don't even know it. You just love different than everybody else, right? That's my experience. I can only speak on mine. If that's you need to know some shit, all right? So, my drug of choice, which was useful for calling it psychosis when I was tripping, was meth. They say all the information in the world you could have fit in a crystal, right? This is crystals, right? When you do meth, right? So I think that's the reason. I think people handle it different. If you're someone like me, I think, yeah, you get high. Yeah, you don't get tired like that. I just snorted it. I don't know about any other way of doing it, but every time I would be high and on a binge, and I'd come back down and I could be normal again. Well, normal, whatever. The shit they're telling, like, the only difference is I could contain what I'm experiencing, what I seen, after being up for 2 days, just researching this shit, you know what I mean? In between fucking masturbating or whatever the hell else you're gonna do while you're on it, but that you take that in, it's information. So with that being said, you are literally on the Truman Show. I know for a fact I ain't gotta prove it. If you don't want to understand that, then that's on you. Do you have a lot of pictures in your house? Are you always getting your legs cut off of you when you're trying to get somewhere? Something's like roadblocks are getting put in front of you by people, right? You always end up, you might have gotten out of it already, but at some point did you always end up where you didn't want to be, where someone else had access to the home, where you just didn't have full control, it wasn't yours, you didn't have a house passed down to you, etc. Which, if you was a chosen one, you start with nothing. There's no way they start us with shit. You know what I mean? Like, my parents could be having it. I think they was having it, but I would just experience a really poor life, like poverty and all that, around who I thought was in poverty, right? They had pictures everywhere. And I'll show you something real quick. So I took them down today when I finally realized, and I'll get to that, how I realized this was the situation later on and how I know, but that's a whole, I want to deliver this properly. So anyways, pictures. There's fucking 20 pictures of my cousin in here and her mom and her family and them. We don't ever talk about them or nothing. There ain't no pictures of me in this room, right? Where I ended up I had to come back to my mom's house from Austin. Get into that later. It was out of my control, okay? So we got this whole wall's filled with them. Right? Ain't nothing but pictures right here. You can see let me see. See the nails? See the nails everywhere? Yeah, and mirrors. You for sure always got a big ass mirror in your room or something. So it ain't mirror magic. It's these people from different countries. They call them countries. They're watching through them things, right? At night, you could be probably seeing like the little light beams going around and shit, or flashlights and shit. That's whatever they're doing. You gotta go look at some real voyeurism shows. Like there's one called, I had to look it up, something fish. But I know we're in a fish tank, bro. Or not, bro. Whoever I'm talking to, we're in a fish tank for sure. Women might go through it too. I don't know. Like, there's no real people around you. You gotta understand that. I am under the impression that I'm a human, or I got spirit, right? I'm a soul. That's where you get the chosen one from. We're different. We feel different. Everybody else, you'll notice they only got like 5. Like, a person, most people in your life, I ain't gonna say everybody, I don't know, I haven't met nobody else like me, will have like just a few sayings that got answers to shit, right? Like their greetings are always the same. And it's always got to be something about the president or the fucking something like that. Just one or two sports or the president, right? That's because that's the robots and shit, for real. That's not a human at all, okay? They probably go to VA hospital and shit like that too. You know, maybe that ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm not gonna tie that as something, but they got look. Most of the people in my life, they've all been in the military somehow. At some point, they've been in the military. They've been New Mexico and shit. Like, and I get dragged in New Mexico. I get dragged over here by the Dallas Air Force Base. I get brought everywhere. Like either military or some sort of, I don't know what it is, but we're getting sold out for real. It's in the languages and everything. You can hear the words they're saying when they're rapping. Like, these rappers ain't even really what they're saying. They're not. They watch you and they make music about it. They watch you and they make movies about it. They put you in situations and they write books and poetry about it. Why? Because they can't do it themselves, okay? They gotta use AI and shit or whatever to watch your experience, turn it around and make shit with it. You're the creator. You're the writer of this shit, whether you knew it or not from the beginning. I don't know how much farther I should get into this right now, but if you got any questions, I'm putting my Patreon down there. You gotta pay for me to take the time to go through all this, but I know some shit. And I know a lot of y'all, I don't know what they're talking about. Like, people act like the purge is coming and shit like that, right? So, you gotta understand, let's say all the chosen ones were to be like, oh shit, they did this to us this whole time, which they have been doing it to us, but you can't give them something to like squash it with, and that means you gotta be that. Even as a whole group, we gotta be what we've always been a victim of, like the good people, right? Just gotta play fucking chess with this shit, man. Nobody needs to be coming together on social media, raising a hoorah about it. Spread the truth. Tell your truth for sure. You know what I'm saying? But this is the revelation. This is what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what the fuck goes on, you know, in the Bible. But if anybody's going through that, I highly recommend reaching out to someone. And then the people, one more thing, people who you do know got a soul, who got a little more creativeness to them, or you could have an intellectual conversation with, they're thinking they're smarter than you, okay? They're like a narcissist probably in a sort of way, but like they're spirited, but they already got paid. They're getting paid for being in your life, I promise you that, okay? And they're paid to keep the script going, the story going, where you don't know what's going on. Now, that humiliation ritual thing they're talking about, yeah, I feel like that's real. And whatever you're doing, don't do it behind closed doors if you ain't ready to just own up to it right away, right? Like, I know some shit they're gonna try to say about me if it ever does come to public opinion, right? I own that shit. I don't give a fuck, you know? Shit, I've been on the webcam sites, I'll tell you that right now. Like I say, getting high, well, I'll get into that later. It wasn't no boy type of situation, but and realize don't be out here trying to have a family and shit. They're all like trannies and shit right now. You can't really, I don't know if you could have a kid right now. Like, it's the end. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no kids. I'm 32. It's over. You know? Just try to like, it's good to have information, you know? Arm yourself with information, man. Ignore all the bullshit. Don't let nobody tell you you're crazy or nothing, right? Just do that, okay? Reach out if you got a question.